Let's talk about something that might not seem obviously connected to NAD+ at first: dietary fats. NAD+ doesn't just float around in your cells doing energy metabolism in isolation. It works primarily inside mitochondria, those tiny organelles that generate most of your cellular energy. And mitochondria are highly dependent on the quality of their membranes to function efficiently. This is where healthy fats come into the picture. Mitochondrial membranes are made up of phospholipids, which contain fatty acids. The types of fatty acids incorporated into these membranes directly affects their fluidity, their ability to form the proper structures, and their vulnerability to oxidative damage. When mitochondrial membranes contain high proportions of omega-3 fatty acids, particularly DHA, they tend to be more fluid and functional. When they contain high proportions of saturated or trans fats, they become more rigid and less efficient. This affects how well the proteins embedded in these membranes can do their jobs, including the proteins involved in NAD+ dependent energy production. Think of it this way: NAD+ is like fuel for your mitochondria, but if the mitochondrial machinery is gummed up with poor quality fats, that fuel can't be used efficiently. You could have plenty of NAD+ available, but if your mitochondria are structurally compromised, energy production will still be impaired. This is why the conversation about NAD+ and brain energy can't be separated from the broader conversation about mitochondrial health. The best dietary sources of brain-healthy fats are fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel, which provide omega-3s, EPA, and DHA. You can also get alpha-linolenic acid, a shorter-chain omega-3, from walnuts, flax seeds, and chia seeds, though your body's ability to convert this into the longer-chain DHA is limited, especially as we age. Other sources of healthy fats include olive oil, which is rich in monounsaturated fats, and avocados. Now, here's an important nuance. The standard American diet is typically very high in omega-6 fatty acids from vegetable oils and low in omega-3s. This creates an inflammatory imbalance that can affect not just mitochondrial membranes but also inflammatory signaling throughout the body. The ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 in the typical American diet is somewhere around 16:1, when it should probably be closer to 4:1 or even lower. This imbalance contributes to the chronic inflammation that, as we've discussed, drains NAD+. But we need to be realistic about how much dietary fat changes can impact established neurodegeneration. The brain is particularly rich in DHA, which is constantly being turned over and replaced. In theory, improving dietary omega-3 intake should gradually improve brain membrane composition. In practice, getting enough omega-3 into the brain to make a meaningful difference in someone who already has significant Alzheimer's pathology has proven difficult. Clinical trials of omega-3 supplementation in Alzheimer's patients have generally been disappointing. The benefits, if any, appear to be very modest. Where healthy fats might matter more is in prevention and in supporting overall metabolic health over decades. A brain that's been nourished with adequate omega-3s throughout life likely maintains better mitochondrial function and better NAD+ efficiency compared to one that's been chronically deficient. But trying to reverse decades of suboptimal nutrition with a few months of fish oil supplementation is probably asking too much. There's also the issue of oxidation. Omega-3 fatty acids are highly unsaturated, which makes them vulnerable to oxidative damage. If you're increasing omega-3 intake but not also ensuring adequate antioxidant protection, those beneficial fats can actually become a source of oxidative stress. This is why dietary patterns matter more than individual nutrients. You need the omega-3s, but you also need the antioxidants from fruits and vegetables to protect them. The bottom line on healthy fats and NAD+ efficiency is that membrane composition matters for mitochondrial function, and mitochondrial function determines how effectively NAD+ can be used to generate energy. Eating patterns that emphasize fish, nuts, olive oil, and avocados while minimizing highly processed vegetable oils and trans fats should support better mitochondrial membrane quality over time. But this is a long-term strategy for metabolic support, not a quick fix for existing brain disease.